This is Richard Fisher, publisher of Inside Unmanned Systems. Welcome back. Last day at Exponential, Houston, Texas. We have Dean Attridge with us, who is the Senior Director of Business Development for Ascent AeroSystems. Dean, welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So, do you want to explain to people what a coaxial UAS is?
Sure. So, we're all used to quadcopters, which is, 4 blades balanced across a stack of 4, or maybe 8. And you always see 4 arms and a coaxial, a little different. You've got 2 sets of props stacked on top of each other.
Right.
Each twisting a different direction to overcome the torque difference. And then they balance on top of each other, so you've got flow through the 2. You'll remember the Mars rover that we've all seen, coaxial design. If you look back further,
I saw it on the cover of Inside Unmanned Systems. I remember.
Yep. You look back as far as the 40s, 50s, 60s, you'll see coaxial helicopters out there, and still to this day, the Russians are using coaxial helicopters a great deal. So in their designs, and there's reasons for that. I'll go into that. And then if you go back even further, look at Leonardo da Vinci's concept of a helicopter, coaxial design. So the concept has not been, it's been around a little while. The tricky thing is miniaturizing it. And that's where Ascent AeroSystems really came to the fore in 7 or 8 years ago now, in working out. And that's how our founders came together, was an over the internet discussion of, we're trying to build a coaxial drone. Oh yeah, I am as well. And it was garage to garage, different drivers came together, formed a company, and have now made it into the company that we are today. So
So we interviewed the entire engineering team at AeroVironment, who designed that Ingenuity. And then we also interviewed Havard Grip, who was a principal investigator for Jet Propulsion Lab, who actually specified. He wrote the spec.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool. And oh, by the way, its mission sets greatly exceeded anything anybody ever expected from it.
Yeah, one or 2 test flights has become months of flying.
Oh, I'm telling you. So, but specifically with a coaxial configuration, walk us through what the benefits are in terms of, obviously, better lift, like Mars, vibrational, what's the vibrational signature?
Sure.
Noise signature, perhaps. Efficiency. Walk us through.
Sure.
What are the characteristics of coaxial configuration?
Yeah, so you've got 2 large rotor systems. They spin because they're larger volume. When you add 4 small circles together, it's not the same as 2 big ones. So, basic maths will tell you that. So we've got more prop spinning than a traditional same-sided quadcopter.
Okay.
That gives you some efficiencies. And then the slower prop speed that we spin at, and these larger blades, is a reduction in noise. And everybody comments when our aircraft takes out how different it sounds to a traditional, 4 blades spinning at high speeds make a very different noise to 2 flying at slower speeds. So noise advantage there. Lift to weight ratio, we're only lifting 2 motors. They're bigger, but we're lifting 2 motors, not 4. Some efficiencies there. And then the real efficiency comes down when you fold those blades down the side. We've got a tall tubular design that's really easy to take apart, pack away, make it into a small backpack, or to waterproof. In our case, we're IP56, so it's easy to waterproof. And so our drones have ended up at this efficient coaxial design that is able to be adapted into multiple roles due to its modular design and the build and integration of the payloads. We've ended up with a very efficient aircraft. We're very aerodynamic, and one of the things that always shocks me is how strong a wind we can fly in.
Great.
And I remember when I was working for a previous system, we would lose 25% of our service days to wind. Yeah, well, a
Sure.
45 mile an hour wind rating, and I've flown it faster than that. It's 45 mile an hour wind rating. That's what we publicly
What
say.
about, let's stick with the weather there for a second. What about inclement weather? What about rain? What about, so we have high winds, rain, snow, that kind of, and lousy weather. And the reason I'm asking, I mean, those aren't optimal kind of operational environments, but guess what? On a search and rescue, or
they've got no choice.
Exactly.
These guys, you know, the military, public safety people, they have no choice when they're going to fly. There isn't a let's wait till tomorrow option. So if you don't have that option, you're not flying, and you're losing out on a very important tool. You know, so so our aircraft are ideal for those kind of customers, and we have many customers are the type of customers that need to fly when they have to fly.
Understood. So. Mission critical, safety critical, safety of life applications.
But as we've increasingly added additional sensors, we've also found that people that are losing flying days economically can now keep flying because of the strong wind.
Which is a really significant point. And to be able to fly in gusts of
45 mile an hour winds.
45 mile an hour winds. Consistent. 45 mile an hour winds.
And gusts over that.
And gusts well over that, because that's just the way Mother Nature works, right? So I can imagine there are some user communities that typically operate in those kind of conditions.
Absolutely.
Might be oil and offshore, oil and gas. Might be wind turbine inspection. Boy, is that a neat solution.
Absolutely.
And so, and in fact, there's other salutary benefit to be able to fly in high wind, right? So that means this platform is more stable at a higher wind speed, which means the data extraction is going to be necessarily more accurate.
Yes.
Can you talk? I mean, do you hear that from your customers?
Yeah, we do. So the platform's incredibly stable. Our latest platform, the NX30, which is not our latest platform, but our largest platform. The NX30 is a 30-pound coaxial drone. If anybody's seen our Spirit before, that was only 15 pounds. Double the size, double the payload. It's so stable. It shocked me the first time I flew it. When I joined the company last August, I flew it for the first time, and I was like, wait a minute.
No kidding.
It's not moving. And it's windy as hell and gusty as hell. So we were very impressed. And don't take my word for it. Our customers will tell you.
Dean, what is the payload capacity for both of those models?
So the NX30 is a 30-pound all-up mass capable aircraft, hence its wording. And with one battery on board, we're lifting 15 pounds. Two batteries on board, we're lifting 7.5 pounds. So it's that kind of lift ratio. So it lifts, with one battery on board, it's lifting half its all-up mass. So that's
pretty remarkable.
Yeah, so that's that power to weight ratio advantage we have with the coaxial
power
design.
to weight ratio. What a huge advantage. Okay, so we've talked about stability and being able to navigate in inclement weather and the value of that for a lot of reasons. The kind of lower sonic signature. We know that there are a now defunct Army program, the U.S. Army FTUAS, Future Tactical UAS. One of the platforms there was at a fly-off at Fort Benning a few years ago. The big takeaway, and although it wasn't even one of the requirements that they asked for, it had a really low sonic signature. It was quiet. You couldn't hear it coming. They got, so how has... who are the user communities who value that kind of feature?
We do have military customers, which there's obviously benefits to there. We do have public safety customers where that's important as well. One of our biggest users is Customs and Border Patrol. So if you don't necessarily want to know the people you're finding, that you found them because you're coordinating a response, that's important. So
pretty important.
But there's other benefits to that as well. There's we have delivery programs using our drones, and
do you really?
Why would you upset the neighbors delivering something?
Great point.
So
last mile delivery, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So it keeps the noise down for them as well. So that can be impactful. If you're a utility inspector and you're going through a community, doing an inspection around the edge of a community, why make all that noise when you don't have to?
Indeed. And then you don't get neighbor complaints, and then it's you're actually really. I mean, it sounds to me like you're delivering an integration of capability, a kit, a platform that is really well suited to a multitude of user communities, but more importantly, it's really creating and providing tools to your customers that are going to be the solution providers that are doing the drone delivery, that are doing the ISR work for many, whether it's critical infrastructure, border patrol, search and rescue, or fire and law enforcement. But you're also providing this wildly efficient kind of highly durable platform that can take that last mile. And as we sit at the precipice here of Part 108 and this beyond visual line of sight idea, the belief is then that last mile still is really tricky. And being able to put you in the conversation with all those user communities must be pretty exciting. Is what I'm getting at.
We build a very flexible platform, deliberately so, to allow integrators and operators out there to come to us and say, hey, I need this sensor to go on an aircraft that can always fly, or can go this far, or makes this much noise, or whatever the things. And so we actually sell kits that allow integrators to put stuff onto our aircraft. So we physically say, this is how you adapt stuff to our aircraft. There you go.
And that's a huge kind of trend. We hear the acronym MOSA a lot, so it's modularity. Talk more about your modularity in terms of what kind of payload kit you can swap in and out for some of those ConOps that would be most likely for these user communities.
So our oldest platform, but our most flexible one in that nature, is the Spirit. That's our 15-pound class aircraft, 13.5. And that is built from ground up to be modular. It has a locking ring system that allows you to build it Lego style, stack it up from novel payloads on the bottom, through the battery, through the drivetrain, maybe another battery on top, and then top it off with some sort of cap, which may be just a simple GPS, but it may also be a camera that you've decided to flip upside down because you want to look in a different direction. You want to land on top of a hill in grass and perch and stare. You want to land on a building and stare over the edge. Those kind of things. So very flexible platform. And then each of those stacks, we will sell as a platform development kit to integrators that they can adapt whatever they need to fly. And we do a lot of work with those kind of research teams, novel engineering teams that are trying to build new solutions for the industry. They don't want the complexity of making something fly. They want to fly this sensor to go and kick new kinds of data. And we will sell them the equipment to be able to do that, and all the instructions of how to talk to our drone.
And what are some of the most common kind of sensor kits?
It's mostly novel cameras, detecting, one we're doing at the moment with our customer is detecting methane. It's very hard for me not to say methane in my English accent, but it's methane.
That's all right. We've written about it a lot.
So methane detection.
And so that's a really important, particularly now. I mean, the previous way of doing methane detection was a guy with a notebook and a pen and a Pergram gas detection. And now they're flying them, and there's very specific, requirements in terms of altitude and speed, so that and how many parts per million.
And that. So we're not experts on that, but
but you don't have to do. But what you then have. But I am saying to you that in that application very specifically, to get the data precisely, you have to fly at a particular heading, at a very particular altitude, because that's when the measurements change. Those are the requirements. So, I mean, it sounds like you're just that's perfectly suited. And I'm thinking also just kind of ISR stuff, whether it's multispectral, hyperspectral, LiDAR, photogrammetry, just RGB, EO, IR, you name it.
All of the above.
Exactly. So, and find a sensor that you need to deploy via air, and you can probably help them, right?
That's the whole idea.
So and that modularity really enables you to serve a wide kind of breadth of customers.
That's where we're going.
So mission criticality, safety of life.
Yep.
You know, safety critical ops. You guys are doing it all, huh?
We are, and our newest product, our little 250-gram Helios drone, is really specifically, the launch version of that is really specifically focused on those public safety customers. So we get a 250-gram coaxial,
wow,
tiny little grey one if you've seen it on our booth, and that's very much aimed at those customers. They have to fly, they need a wind-resistant aircraft, but they want to keep the price point and the size and the risk management of only having a sub 250 gram.
Sure.
They can fly that over a scene, and actually it's so packed up, so small, you can keep it in your inside pocket of your jacket, or you can keep it in your patrol car, and you've got it forward with you all the time. We have remote linking, so you can hold it out the window of the patrol car, arm it, and somebody remotely can fly it for you for the next 30 minutes over your shoulder and keep an eye on you and keep you safe.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, give our audience a couple of quick stats on that.
Yep.
Size, flight duration.
Sure, I should have brought one with me. It's about the size of this microphone.
Yeah.
Sub 250 grams. Will fly in 40 mile an hour winds. IP56, low light TV camera for operating in urban environments, and it's 4G LTE controlled. So the link to it is over the cell phone network, so that anybody can link to it. So you can do it direct off your phone, or somebody else can link to it and fly it for you. So you can carry on being a public safety officer.
Wow. So that's fascinating stuff. Thanks so much for making the time, and congratulations on the success, both in terms of the design and execution and adoption. If people want to get more information, Dean, where can they go?
Yeah, direct to me, dean.attridge at AscentAeroSystems.com, and reach out through our website. There's plenty of ways to get.
And the website is
AscentAeroSystems.com.
AscentAeroSystems.com. Wonderful. So we appreciate the time.
Thank you
done.
for the invite.
And from Houston, Texas, we'll see you next time.